You are lying to yourself about hookup culture. Casually hooking up and getting into situationships that don't go anywhere is unfortunately so toxic to you as a woman. But society has made you believe it's okay. It doesn't really matter. This is why it matters. Number one, giving up your body adds to another layer of pain that's inevitably going to come when this man does not commit to you. Number two, you're giving yourself up to a man who has his own history, who might operate from his own wounded places, who might create more insecurities for you, who probably has his own erotic thoughts and desires that might not even align to yours. Number three, you're disconnecting to your body. Hookup culture makes you believe that you're going to get more experience. That's really not true. Every time you get into a new relationship, it's a new body to learn anyways. And what you should be learning is your own body, what feels good to you. Because the truth is, majority of women disconnect from their own bodies to connect to his.
Welcome to the CWC podcast special show tonight. I have my daughter on the show with us. Ayana's here. She is here. Let's give her a round of applause. She is here with us to follow up. We're following up tonight on the modern dating saga that we started a few weeks ago. We had a couple of or an episode, me and my sister, where me and my sister are old though, right? So we're talking about stuff that's in our generation. I wanted to bring on someone from the current generation, these millennials out here, and kind of understand from their perspective, what's the dating market like for you?
Trash.
So she happens to be single. Just like me, don't I guess chip off the old block on that. But she's out here and she's in the dating market and she's dealing with these guys, these modern guys, because I know we talk a lot about modern women. Let's talk a little bit about modern guys. Like, what is the differences what's going on out here in the market with the males, and how are they approaching females? Why are females like so repulsed by guys that approach them in public and things like that? Is it too many choices, or is it just not the right guys approaching? Like, these are some of the things that we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about hookup culture. We're going to talk about hot girl summers, right? That I'm sure that's why she's laughing, because she's heard about this as well, where these girls are going out here and they're finding out, well, hey, you know what? It's okay to go out here and just have your hot girl summer and do whatever you want and just do all your hookups and don't worry about it. Find a husband later. But it doesn't really work that way. And I'm here to give her that side of the equation, right? Because it doesn't really work that way. Because for us, for guys, body count matters to us guys, right? Body count matters. And if we find out that our girl has been out there like that, we're kind of like,
red flag.
Absolutely. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be having some fun with this particular show. We're going to go freelance a little bit. I'm going to be asking her some questions about, hey, what is going on out here in the modern market? What is happening? The clip that you saw in the beginning of the show, by the way, was a young lady who was dropping facts, in my opinion. I mean, she was putting a lot of good information out there as far as like what happens to women who are promiscuous like that, and they're kind of a little bit too freelance with their bodies, and it takes an emotional toll and a physical toll, if you want to be honest about that.
Medical?
I'm saying a physical toll, but I think more of a mental toll, right? And an emotional toll, because women, you guys are emotional creatures, right? So if you're just out here willy-nilly like that, like we can do that, y'all can't. Like
That's true. I've heard that multiple times through friends.
We can do, like men, we can do that. You guys, you know this. Women get mad. Like, they're mad about this for some reason. Like, they're upset there. Well, why is it okay for you to go out there and do whatever you can sleep with a whole bunch of women, do whatever you want, and it don't impact you? That's correct. It's just how it is. Like, it's how it is. It's
because women have more of an emotional connect.
Of course.
Even though they try to fight it, it never works out like that. Never.
Okay. So let's talk about that specifically. So what is it like? First of all, and by the way, before we get started, for our audio only listeners on Spotify, we need y'all to come to Spotify. I haven't been sharing the links as much. I'm gonna start sharing it out. We're up to 104 subscribers on the channel. We appreciate that. We're getting great traction. Spotify is a little bit a little bit spotty right now. I haven't had a single hit on my Spotify yet. So I'm starting to get a little bit annoyed with y'all. So I'm going to start pushing that a lot more. But for audio only, don't worry. We're going to have some Spotify content coming out. I'm going to start pushing it a lot more. I haven't really been doing that. So I just want to throw that in there before we get started. Now, so yeah, tell me, just give me a general overview of what the modern dating market looks like for you. You're young, you're 27, you're a young woman, you're out here in these streets, right?
Not in the streets. No.
So tell me, what is it like for you just in general with the market right now?
I feel like it's hard because a lot of us come from a lot of relationships that have created a lot of emotional damage for us. And we go into these relationships with a lot of expectations, which is our fault. I feel like we need to stop going into things with so many expectations because things aren't going to be perfect. And I feel like we need to acknowledge our personal red flags before trying to go into something and calling out someone else's red flags when we haven't even acknowledged the problems that we may create in a relationship.
Okay.
It's just, I feel like social media is definitely a problem because it's a trend of things. Everything's a trend nowadays. And everyone feels like, oh, we got to follow the wave of, oh, you have to be this in a relationship. I expect this, or you have to look like this, or this, that, and the third. And it's like, it kind of messes with how we think of things that we deserve because we're just so focused on what everyone else is doing type of thing. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense, especially for females, because you guys get on there, you see, like you say, the latest trends. You see the girls there might be girls that are getting flown out, right? Guys are flying these girls out to Vegas and all these places in California and all this stuff. And if you're sitting here with your dude, right, you start feeling like, well, how come that stuff's not happening for me?
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
How come we don't do this? We don't go anywhere. We don't do this. We don't take pictures.
So would you say that social media is creating like unrealistic expectations for these guys?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay. Good information. And I've been saying that since the first intro video that we did, is that I feel like social media has put a lot of barriers in front of regular guys because a lot of these guys, can't afford to fly you out.
Nothing is traditional anymore. Like people feel like, for instance, for guys, I have a couple of homeboys that are like, oh, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to take my girl out. I'm not going to wine and dine her because I'll be considered a simp. Yeah. Which is unfair because it's like, no, you're just being a good person.
Do you guys use that term a lot?
Yes.
Like young girls, y'all use simp a lot? Because we use it in the manosphere. So I'm curious. This is a learning experience for you. So y'all use that a lot. So, okay.
Girls,
so what's a simp?
A simp is like if you have a guy that's willing to do anything for you, fly you out, give you money, and you're not even in a relationship with this person, but that woman is using his feelings against him because she knows that she can get whatever she wants out of this man. And it's like, she's considered like, yeah, he's a simp. He's going to do whatever. I can call on him. He's going to do this. He's going to give me money. He's going to be, it's like that easy access versus having a guy that you might have to work for something.
Are you more attracted to the guy you have to work for? Usually? Because a simp usually not going to be the guy that's the apex alpha guy. He's usually going to be the guy who's trying to work his way in. This guy over here that you're talking about is the guy that is already in, but he's kind of playing hard to get on his end.
A simp is somebody that you don't want to be with, but you're going to keep him on standby because you can get what you want out of that person.
So guys, take this as a lesson. I've been saying this. My personal view is this. It's okay to have feelings for a chick, like you like a chick, whatever, but you should know when it's not being reciprocated back, and then you should stop at that point. If you're still Like, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that. Oh, I'm gonna go help her. Her car got towed. I'm gonna go help her get her car out. I'm gonna go change her tire. Oh, she needs $150 for the Orkin man. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. Like, the reason I brought up the Orkin man is because a girl tried that with me one time. I guess she was trying to simp test on me. She did.
She called you to clear her house of roaches.
I swear. The girl hit me up. I swear. I met this girl. I knew this girl for like a week. She hit me up. I got bugs in my cabinets. I was like, huh? I was looking at the phone like, I was like, I didn't even know how to respond. And then she's like, they told me it's going to be $70 to come out and do an analysis. I was like,
$70 only? She don't even got that.
What I was like, no, well, she had it, but she was seeing if I was going to simp for her, right? Like, she was seeing, let me see if this dude, let me see, let me throw it out there, right?
But my thing is, why would you even think that's okay? That's my thing. Some women have no class or at all.
Yeah.
Why would you think that's okay?
Well, you just said social media, right? It's created this what I call access to excess. I call it unrealistic entitlement. I call it where there's a lot of women who, let's be honest, a lot of these girls are average at best, but they're walking around here thinking that they are their top diva. They can get whatever they want because they may have had a dude or two or three. Because that brings up my next point. I mentioned this in an earlier video. There's only 24% of the male population today, right now in the United States, that are sexually active. Let that sink in. 24%.
Which is bizarre.
Not really, because all of you guys are chasing the same guys, right? So everyone wants the top tier guys, right? All the women, they believe that they're entitled.
But what is considered a top tier guy?
Okay, let me ask you that. What is a top tier guy to you? Because let me give you my definition, and then you give me your definition.
But I feel like that's different with everyone because everyone has their certain things that they like or want from a man.
You know what I see with young girls like you around your age? You know what makes you a top tier guy? If you have a boat. If you have a boat and you have money, you're a top tier guy automatically. That's at least true. Down here in Miami area, at least here. Guys, if you have a boat, you can do whatever you want. Put it that way. You girls ain't turning down a boat trip. You hit them up. Hey, babe, what are you doing this weekend? Hey, why don't you come out on the boat? Me and my boys are going to go on a boat. She ain't saying no. It don't matter what the dude looks like. Yeah. The dude could be, the dude, she going. So what I'm saying, is a top tier guy, use yourself and your friends as examples. Is it just about the money, or do y'all like at this point? What are y'all looking for? Or do you want a relationship? Do you want to just have fun? Do you want the dude to just wine and dine you, take you out, spend money, take you on trips? What are y'all looking for?
Me, speaking for myself, I've never been the materialistic type. Mm-hmm. I just want a guy to like show love and be real and be honestly, and communicate. Communication. All these years of my adult life, I've realized that men really struggle with communication. And most women, that's all they want. Most of the simple women, that's all they want is just clear communication. We're not talking about the bra that's like, I want to get flued out and shopping spree and spin a bag and da-da-da-da. Like, no, we're talking about the real women that work for themselves, that do what they do, but they just want to feel loved. And that's just human nature.
Oh, let me take it a little bit deeper. Communication, how so? Like, do you want him to be more open with his feelings? Because then y'all turn around and say, oh, he too soft. I don't know what's wrong with him. So the guys watching right now are trying to, they want to know, they're trying to figure it out because they don't know what to do. All the dudes are out here like, I don't know what to do. The girl, I don't know. Social media told me to do this. I don't know. She told me to do that. I don't want to do this because I'm going to be like a simp. We don't know what to do anymore.
Honestly, just be yourself.
Okay.
I just feel like we need to stop focusing on what everybody else is doing or what our friends may think or this, that, and the third. Like, do what makes you feel good. Because, you can't treat somebody a certain way and then expect to get treated another way. What I've noticed is that men love to have their cake and eat it too.
Yeah, we do.
Because it's like, you act a certain way. let the roles be reversed and the woman act a certain way towards you. That's not going to fly with you. That's not going to sit with you. How is that fair? Because at the end of the
give me an
day,
example of
gender aside, we're both human.
So, but give me an example of what you mean. Like, are you saying like in terms of like, is it flirting with other people or
yeah,
okay,
flirting or being too friendly, cheating, whatever the case. A guy may cheat and be like, "Oh, baby, please, I'm sorry, I'll never do it again." But if a girl does it, oh, screw her, I'm done with her. She's for the streets.
Yeah.
But how is that fair? Because I just did the same thing that you did.
I'll explain that. I'll explain from the guy's perspective. Here's why. So this is going to sound a little bit strange to especially to traditionalists. It's expected for men to cheat. I don't know if like, I think society is kind of like, at this point kind of accepted that it's expected for, we're wired to do this. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it is, like, especially if you, in my opinion is this, it's not cheating unless you commit to somebody. That's the way I see it. Right. So if you're like, here's the way I see it. If you're people are going to date other people. Right. But if I tell this chick, hey, you know what? I'm really into you. I'm really feeling you. I guess, do we still have to ask y'all to be our girlfriends still? Like, do we still have to do that? Do we have to give you a piece of paper? Would you go out with me? How do we, when does it become an official thing? When does it become, okay, we're just talking, we're just messing around, we're just doing this. Okay. When does it get to that point of where we shouldn't be messing around? Because if the dude doesn't have like a deterrent, like say, okay, this is my woman, he's going to cheat if he has options.
But most of the time when you're in the talking stage with a guy, most of the time you're not really going to have a female that asks you out. Will you be my boyfriend? It's mostly on the guy. The ball is in the guy's park. Like,
for sure.
Yeah, you may know I have these feelings for you, but most of the time the girl's waiting for you to be like, "Oh, will you be my girlfriend?" Or to make it official. Regardless of the feelings and everything like that, like, it's still not official, yes, but that doesn't mean that there shouldn't be respect involved.
So what she just described is true. Women are the gatekeepers to sex. Men are the gatekeepers to relationships. That's the rule. So it's always up to the woman of when the man's going to be allowed to have sex. Like, it's always up to the woman. Always. Always. There's no exceptions to that. There's some dude out there talking about, you whenever I want. No, she has to allow that. Because we want it all the time. Like, we want it all the time. Like, there's no specific time for us. Like, the girl will be like, I don't really feel like it today. We always feel like it. So we're wired that way, right? The woman, not so much. Sex is not, I always say it. Men need to have sex. Women like to have sex. That's the way I see it. Because women can go, y'all can shut it down and just be good. Like, I know some women that they've shut it down for ages. Like, they built a wall over it. They put ting, 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 ting. Ain't nobody getting in there. The dude is trying to pry he ain't getting in there. We are always ready to do that. So I agree with that. It is up to the man. It's incumbent upon him. However, and this is usually when the woman says, so what are we doing? Right.
Yes. So what are we?
Yeah. Everybody laugh at that one. Because every woman out there watching is like, I've said that. I've told him that. And because a guy and a dude will try to act like, what you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
We
chilling, we vibing.
I thought we was having fun.
Yes.
Yeah, so I know what you mean on that. And guys, I've said that too. Here would be my recommendation. If you're out here dating, you're dealing with women, just be honest with the lady, because I don't see any upside to trying to be this pickup artist guy to spit in game. And I'm gonna tell her whatever I gotta tell her to get into her pants or whatever. If our dudes are still doing this, I mean, I understand if you're 18, 19, 20, I get it. I'm not talking to you. I'm talking about guys who are older and who know better. Like, it's like, because at that point, to me, it's like a human factor that comes in. Like, it's like a factor of, okay, especially for me in my age group. Like, if I'm dating a lady in her 30s and her 40s, I'm not going to lead this woman on and tell her that, oh, there can be this, there can be that, if I know that it's not going to be that. Like, I'll tell her straight from Jump Street, this is what I'm capable of doing, right? And if she wants something outside of that, then it's cool. I'll say, okay, then I'm not the one. But there's a lot of dudes that y'all are so hard up.
Men don't come out like that, though. They don't be like, oh, this is, I'm this type of person, I'm going to do this. No, men love to sell hopes, dreams, and wishes. And that's what's the messed up part about dating. Because like, I'm the type of person, I respect honesty. If you're upfront and you tell me what it is, okay, the rest is on me. But if you're like flipping and flopping and stringing along and doing all this, that's not fair. Because
I agree.
Some people are going to get feelings involved.
Let me ask you a question. Does body count matter to you as a female? Because I know as men, it matters to us. Does it matter to you? Like if you know that your dude you're interested in has had sex with 100 women, does that impact the way you look at him?
Everyone has a past and people grow from their past. Everyone has their little hoe phase that they go through. If it's kind of different because with men, you're like, oh, a guy that hasn't really, he's not as experienced or something like that. It's going to be like, oh, that's a red flag. Like, why, why don't you have that experience?
How come, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Like, why is that a thing? Versus women, I know guys don't want a girl that's just kind of like open their legs to whatever, kind of like been out in the streets or whatever the case. But why is there always a double standard with dating though?
Because listen, this is the hardest thing to explain to women. Because I mentioned this on the last show on feminism. When I saw the interview with the 3 young girls in college, and they were all saying the same thing. They said the same thing you just said, but I don't understand it. How come he's able to go out here and have sex with all these women? But when I do it, it's a problem because we're wired that way naturally. Go out in nature right now. Look at your dog that you own. That's what he's trying to do all the time. The woman is more selective. Like it's up to look at the praying mantis, look at the black widow. They're going to kill the dude afterward. But like she's sitting up there and the dude knows he's going to die. Look at the praying mantis. Look at the black widow. She goes on the leaf and she puts her booty up or whatever. She starts flap. And then you see all the dudes be lining up. They're going to die. They know this. They know this. Like they're like, I'm going anyway, bro. I got to get in there. So the double standard, it is a double standard similar to the double standard of kind of like in the homosexual realm where there's this double standard where girl on girl is not necessarily frowned upon, but guy on guy is very frowned upon, right? You see what I'm saying? So it's just how it is. Nobody's interested in seeing 2 dudes. Well, as far as I know, like there are people interested in it. I'm sorry. There are a lot of dudes. I'm sorry. There are a lot of dudes interested in that. But in general is what I'm saying. So that's why it's like that, because body count does matter to us. Body count does matter to men who, especially if they're looking to select a future wife.
A future wife that they might cheat on. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, men, I feel like men are never satisfied. You want to say women are never satisfied, but men, I feel like they get like, yeah, I might have a wife and kids at home, but I'm bored with that. So I'm just going to go and entertain the streets. But why is that okay? Because
I didn't say that was okay.
Say we can't be bored with our husband and want to go and do this, that, and the third.
Well, statistically, women cheat just as much as men, by the way. It's just that women are better at hiding it. Like this data has come out recently. Women cheat just as much as we do. They're just better at. We get caught. We're dumb. Like we're stupid. We'll come in there. We come in the house smelling like the other girl. Like we thought we washed up in the bathroom.
And then get mad when somebody calls you out on it.
Yeah, women, y'all stuff is planned out. Like when y'all are gonna cheat, oh, that's planned. Like it's like Cloak and Dagger, James Bond, 007. Like she's got a bag packed in the car. It's been there for a week and a half.
The whole bag.
She knows next week. Next Thursday. My husband's going out of town. I'm going over here. Like y'all plan it out. Like us, we don't do that. Like we're just walking down the street. We see, if a chick walked up to us, right, and was just like, "Hey, what are you doing?" Half of us would be like, "Oh no, where are you going?" That's how
get her phone number and hit her up for the next several days.
Yeah. That's how. Absolutely, that is how it works. by and large, in general, I know there's people out here like, I don't know what these guys are talking about. I don't
But
know any of
it's
this stuff.
because men are more persistent than women. Like however, nowadays women are definitely shooting their shot way more. Women are
Why?
overcoming boundaries because they're
Are
just
guys not approaching y'all as much? Let me ask you that. Like in public, not on social media, but in public.
yeah, I guess it depends because most men are probably like they already know what type of answer they're going to get.
Yeah,
Type of thing.
we assume that y'all are all bees. I ain't gonna lie. Like we assume because I don't cold approach anybody.
But you can't get mad at a female because there's females that are just tired of that. Like they can't go into a damn grocery store, restaurant, or whatever without a man trying to talk to them. You can't pump gas without a man saying, "Hey, Red, hey, Red, hey, Ma." Like it's annoying. You can't live your day-to-day life without a man trying to sexually interrogate you.
What if he's just being nice? See, here's the problem, right? And this is why part of the reason why chivalry is dead, because guys like me, like this generation, like I'm an old school guy. I'm very chivalrous. I'm a classic man. I always tell everybody that, right? I'm a classic man. So things that I would have done in the past for women, I don't do it anymore because of what she just said. You understand? Like there's this feeling of like now I don't even like looking at chicks half the time because like I'll be thinking, you know what, this girl, because some of y'all have it written all over your face all the time. Like y'all be walking around. I hope you try to talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Like so for me, it's just like it's just not worth the effort for me personally. But I know more and more guys now that they're not even, they used to be cold approach guys. Cause I was a cold approach guy once upon a time. Like I didn't have a problem walking up to, I was a guy when I was hanging out with my buddies, there's a table of girls over there. I was the one that would go to the table and actually open up the conversation because everybody else is sitting around scared. Like, oh, I don't know. Hey, you go over there, man. And I would go over there and listen, if I got shot down, I got shot down, but it was no big deal. It was just like, oh, we're not interested. Now the girl be mad. She want to record it, put it on social media. She want to record it. Look at this dude came in. This dude tried to clown me. This dude he coming over to holler at me. He ain't even got on no watch. He ain't even do this. You know what I'm saying?
This is to boost somebody's ego and get likes, clout chasing. Yeah. It's annoying. Yeah. But there is a difference versus a man telling you, oh, opening the door for you versus a man actually trying to hound you and get your number and tell you this, that, and the third. Like, there's so many times I'll be outside walking my dog and men are just stopping up to me talking about, oh, hey, what are you doing? You look good. Like, I'm not interested. I'm out walking my dog. Like, leave me alone. I'm not looking for that. I'm not doing anything. I'm minding my business. So mind your business. You don't need to stop and talk to me.
If it was Idris Elba, would you do that?
Maybe.
So
maybe.
I had to throw that in there, guys, because we understand what it is. There's levels to this. If it's Idris Elba that pulls up next to her while she's walking the dog, she's going to be very receptive.
And that's true, though. But I can admit, if you're walking, a fine dude pulls up to you, you're going to be like, oh, you're talking to me? Like, wait, hold on. I might just give you my number.
I get it.
Sometimes it's like we just don't want to be bothered, and I feel like that should just be okay. Not saying that you have to be rude every time or whatever, but sometimes we just don't want to be bothered.
I'm not interested or whatever.
But even sometimes men are like bothered by that. Oh, well, screw you then. Like, why you got to call me out my name because I don't want to talk to you?
Yeah,
that's not okay.
I just abstain, guys. I don't do cold approach. I don't talk to women just randomly. Once upon a time, like I said, I did do these types of things. But now in this social media era and the Me Too era and all this stuff, I just keep it like women end up talking to me half the time because I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying they end up talking to me.
And that's the thing I will say. A lot of women, I'm not going to say a lot of women. But some women will go for the more like low key in the cut mystery type of guy because they want to know more. Personally, I cannot stand a guy who's just so chauvinistic. Look at all these bands I got. Like all this is just like, it's annoying. It's not cute. And I feel like it's corny. You don't have to do all that to get somebody's attention. Just be yourself. Just have casual conversation, just chill. Like, you don't have to do so much to get somebody's attention. Women too. Women do the most. This is exactly why I do not have a lot of female friends, because I just feel like we're not on the same page. We don't get along. The female friends that I do have is because, okay, I can connect with you. You're real. You're this. You're not focused on superficial things. A lot of the culture, especially down here,
Oh yeah.
I got to get a bag. I got to see what I'm getting out of him. What is he going to give me? I don't got no job, but I'm going to see if a man's going to take care of me. Like, it's just, you got to do for yourself. And then they'll know that that attracts the real men. The men that are trying to take care of you when you don't have a job, they not real. They just trying to, oh, she pretty, I'm going to pay for her.
It goes back to,
I'm going to wear her like an accessory. Like, that's just what it is.
It goes back to one of the earlier shows on the podcast when we did What Do You Bring to the Table? And these were the questions that we were asking, because a lot of these girls, they believe that the only thing that they have to come to the table with is their pretty face and what they have between their legs. That's it. Now that can work. I'm not saying that does that.
To an extent,
it can work. Like, if there's a guy that, like, you are the specific woman that he wants. I know it's hard for you ladies to understand this, but there's a specific lady that every guy watching right now is like, oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. That you're like, she don't have to bring anything to the table but herself, and you'll walk through walls for this chick. Men, it doesn't work that way.
Being a simp.
Yeah, men. I was one of those in my past life. At least I can admit it, right? Guys, admit this. If you've been a simp before, admit this. There's power in admission, right? So I understand what you mean by that, but at the same time, like, for me, a guy who's a little bit older, a little bit more established, a guy who knows what he wants, like, I have a very specific criteria that the woman would have to fall into for me to be interested in her, right? Very specific. That's not, and then, people say, oh, why are you so picky? Why are you so this and that? Because you should be. I think everyone should be. I think people are too lax.
Because you should know what you deserve. You shouldn't be open to accept any type of person.
Yeah.
Because you know what you like and you know what you don't like.
Absolutely.
And not everyone's going to fit that criteria, which is okay. It's normal.
I'm going to segue into a quick article that I'm going to share with you guys real quick. And I'm going to put this in the description box. But if you take a look at the screen, this is an article from the Journal. And it just is, I'm just going to read a little bit to you. It's talking about struggling to be a hopeless romantic in an area of hookup culture, breaking down why we participate in hookup culture over romance. This basically talks about what we just said. So there's guys who are hopeless romantics. Guys, that's what I am naturally. I'll be honest with you. That's what I am naturally. I've had to kind of morph myself into being like a different type of person now because of what society is demanding of me. So, but this article, I'm not going to read it to you. I just wanted to share it with you. I'll put in the link in the description box. It's just basically talking about hookup culture being normalized, how hopeless romantics are kind of losing the race, because if you're a guy who out here, and I've said this before, I've said this multiple times, like, if you are a guy out here and you're looking for a wife, like, you're looking for a relationship, like, I'm not doing it. I've been married before. I've already done these things. But if you're a guy who's looking to do this, right, I do kind of feel bad for you in this current climate, this current culture. I mean, we talked about, there's something here, a bullet point I want to read to you about. So on OnlyFans, which we did a show a couple weeks ago on OnlyFans, I did a little bit more research. We're actually going to have that follow-up show coming with an actual OnlyFans creator. Should be out next week. Stay tuned for that. But the GFE is what I kept hearing, and I was like, "What is this GFE thing?" So GFE is the girlfriend experience that on OnlyFans you can pay, right? So a lot of the highest revenue generators, these women, they sell what's called the girlfriend experience. See, a lot of guys, believe it or not, they really just want a basic woman that will attend to their needs. She doesn't have to be fashionista. She doesn't have to have all the latest bling and all these things. He really just wants the woman that's going to sit there, that's going to talk to him, that's going to listen to him, that's going to be emotionally available for him. guys are paying big money on OnlyFans just to talk to a chick that they don't know.
Maybe in your generation, I feel like in the millennial generation,
Mhm.
people are selfish. They're just kind of like going and doing things that make them feel good and not caring about that person. Like, oh, you're just a temporary thing that's making me feel good at this moment. I'm going to sell you hopes, dreams, and wishes at this moment, knowing good damn well I'm not going to be with you, which is wrong. It's not fair. Like, you just be upfront in general. Like, and which is crazy is it's like, you're the one that went to the female and talked to her. She was minding her business. You just was attracted to her, liked her vibe, whatever. You got involved with her. But now you know, oh, this is not somebody I'm going to be with, but I'm going to continue on because it's making me feel good at this moment.
Yeah.
Until it stops making me feel good. Which is like, damn.
Y'all do the same thing though.
I know. I'm just saying. I
know a lot of dudes I know some dudes has been hurt. These dudes thought that this girl, and then they found out that he was one of like 8. You know what I'm saying?
But the difference between men and women, men will have that one hurt and it will control their whole entire dating life. Oh, I'm not going to do this because it was taken advantage of. Me. I'm not going to do this because it's cringy. I'm going to be a simp. Yeah. All because of that one hurt that may have been 10, 15 years ago, but they're still holding on to that hurt, afraid to trust the next woman because of the damage that one person may have done. Versus women, we give too many chances. We try to put ourselves back out there. And even though, yes, we may bring emotional trauma from past relationships into the new one, but we're still holding on to that hope. Like, maybe he might be the one, or maybe, he has this good quality. He has this, we get along. It's just a trial and error when it comes to dating, which is like, people get tired of that. You get tired of learning the same lessons. You get tired of opening yourself up to people. And now that's why I feel like dating in my era is so difficult, because people have now become so closed in and shut down, and they've built these barriers because of the past hurt that they have, and they're tired of doing it. We're tired of doing it over and over and over. And I can speak more so for women, because it's like, it's hurtful. We're tired of crying alone in our bed after a breakup. 9 times out of 10, we're going to be the one crying alone in bed. And the man is like, oh, I'm going to talk to my other hoes that they've been had the entire relationship. That's a thing. Like, it's just a lot. It becomes too complicated, dating.
So this is all great information. Before we wrap up, because we're bumping up against the time, what is your definition of a good man?
A good man.
What is your definition? Because guys don't know. Like, I'm telling you now, guys have no idea, because there's a lot of dudes out here that they're thinking like, I don't know what else that I need to do.
I think it's because more so people are focused on what I can give you or what I can get out of you. Sometimes it's just about being a good person. It's about having good communication. It's about, understanding and compromising, which is a very hard thing to do in relationships, because you're like, oh, well, because I'm not going to react this type of way in a relationship, then I don't understand why you're reacting that type of way. No, if you really want to like that person and want to work towards something, you have to understand where they're coming from. They might not always be coming from a good point, but you have to understand why they might be thinking that way, and vice versa. It's just all about working towards something, because nothing is ever going to be perfect. Again, going back to having too many expectations, I feel like we need to start going into things without having too many expectations, because we're just going to disappoint ourselves.
That's my motto. I don't have any expectations. Like, she might be talking about me with the past relationship stuff, because at this point, I don't have any expectations. I just don't. Like, I don't expect anything of you, really.
Exactly.
Surprise me, basically, is what I'm saying.
Honestly, like, just surprise me. Like, oh, wow, I didn't think, like, wow, things are going so well. I didn't think this was going to happen. If you go into things thinking, like, this person needs to be like this, this needs to be like this. No, you can't do that. And also, it can't always be on the other person. You have to realize, too, like, what of my red flags do I need to work on to make something work? Because my last relationship might have yeah, we fall out, we didn't work out, but it wasn't completely on that person. We have our flaws too.
Mhm.
You just have to, we have to stop pointing the finger when it comes to dating. We have to realize that we can be the problem as well.
All right, guys, that was gold. As a matter of fact, let's give Ayana, before we wrap up, let's give her a round of applause. Let me find my loud. Let's give her a loud couple applause here. Very good information. Guys, share with us in the comments, like, what did you get out of this, like, out of this discussion? Because we're legitimately trying to help. We want to help the dating market. We want to help people find the right matches. We want to figure out get through this malaise of social media expectations, all these things that are out here. Let us know. Remember, like and subscribe to the channel. Leave us a comment. Drop a like. Drop a dislike if you want. Check us out on Spotify. Like I said, we're having links in the description box. We'll share that with you. And this discussion is not over. We still have more on the modern dating front, because a lot of people still, it's one of our best performing videos. A lot of people are still hit, hey, when y'all going to talk about dating again? So it's a popular subject because there's so many people struggling, I believe, with the same problems.
Yeah.
So that's what we're trying to kind of shed some light and kind of help people get through and navigate. So we appreciate you joining us. You want to say anything before we sign off?
Follow me on Instagram, Ayana Simone.
Hey, don't be DMing my daughter, man. Hey, all y'all do. I've seen y'all's DMs, bro. Hey, I've seen y'all's DMs. Y'all dudes don't be holding nothing back. Seeing the DMs. So, so yeah, guys, it was fun. We have more episodes coming. Like I said, we're going to keep dropping content, keep dropping knowledge. That's what we're going to do. I'm going to share with you I'm going to share with you a couple of YouTube channels as well in the description box with some things that I looked at that were really helpful from females, actually. That was dating advice that was actually good advice. Guys, believe it or not, it exists. There are women that can give you good advice. You got to listen. You can't be so close-minded sometimes. So we appreciate you joining us. We look forward to dropping more content, and we're going to sign off. We'll see you later.